This appliance is the most amazing invention for the home since the microwave. It's a home freeze dryer. The freeze-dry process has been around for a long time, nearly 70 years. It was invented by the US military toward the end of World War II as a way to preserve serums and other medications so they could safely be transported to our troops in Europe. Later, the US began using freeze-drying for military meals and for NASA's space program because it preserved all of the flavor, color, and nutrition of the food without the need for refrigeration. And because without all the water in it, it weighs almost nothing. Today, many of our pharmaceuticals we consume are freeze-dried to preserve their potency and extend their shelf life. Freeze-drying also solves the age-old problem of spoiled food. When you use this unit to freeze-dry your own food and you package it properly, the food can last up to 25 years. Even through those many years, your fruits, vegetables, meats, even full meals retain their original taste, nutritional value, their color, and shape. It's hard to tell that any of this food has been freeze-dried. It doesn't shrink or discolor, and it doesn't taste any different than it did the day it was harvested. It's truly amazing. Just looking at it, it's difficult to tell whether or not food is fresh or freeze-dried. Strawberries, avocados, asparagus, apples, raspberries, ice cream sandwiches. It all looks amazing and it tastes just as good. There are three primary things that destroy the nutritional value in food. One is water, another is heat, and the third is oxygen. The ideal solution to this age-old problem is a home freeze dryer from Harvestright. As its name suggests, freeze drying is a way to take water out of the food while it's in a very cold vacuum. This process ensures that nearly all of the nutritional value remains in the food. And when properly packaged with an oxygen absorber, the food will last up to 25 years. On the other hand, the process of canning and dehydrating food uses heat to preserve it. This heat destroys nearly half of the nutritional value. And because you can't remove all of the water, the food just doesn't last longer than 3 or 4 years. Those of you that bottle and can food likely understand the responsibility you have to use proper canning techniques and procedures. Even when canning something as simple as green beans, it's important to use proper procedures. If a mistake is made, it can result in something as serious as botulism. That can be quite deadly. Because botulism and other bacteria only grow when water is present, freeze-drying is the perfect way to preserve food. Freeze-drying removes all of the water from the food, and without water, these organisms cannot grow. That's one of the reasons that freeze-dried food lasts up to 25 years. Scientists have long recognized that freeze-drying is the best possible way to preserve food for both long-term and short-term storage. And the best part, when you're freeze-drying your own food, you can be sure that it's food that your family is gonna love to eat. So, what can be freeze-dried in your in-home freeze dryer? The answer is almost anything you eat. You may be surprised to know that this includes raw food as well as cooked. Dairy, meats, poultry, seafood, eggs, and everything else can be freeze-dried while raw or when cooked. For example, these are boneless pork chops that we freeze-dried while they were raw. As you can see, dry as a bone. A few minutes ago, we put one of these freeze-dried pork chops in warm water to show you how quickly it rehydrates. And as you can see, it now looks like something purchased from the fresh meat section of your local grocery store. This last pork chop was freeze-dried, rehydrated, and is frying as we speak. It's delicious. There is no other preservation method like freeze-drying. It is truly wonderful. All of these foods have been freeze-dried and they're beautiful. Avocado, turkey, yogurt, cherry tomatoes, strawberries, roast beef, even ice cream. Can you tell which is fresh and which is freeze-dried? Even better than looking like fresh food, it tastes fresh, just like it did before it was freeze-dried. Here's another comparison that's interesting: dehydrated food versus freeze-dried food. Apples, grapes, pineapple, bananas, they look different and they taste different. As you can see, it's easy to tell which food is dehydrated and which is freeze-dried. Besides, there are many foods that can't be dehydrated, but they can be freeze-dried. For instance, yogurt, ice cream, cheese, even your home-cooked meals. More importantly, the dehydrated food has lost nearly 40% of its nutritional value, while the freeze-dried food retains nearly all of its nutrition and will for many, many years to come, up to 25. One thing that's important to me is to provide healthy meals and snacks for my family. Other than fresh produce and fresh meat, most food that I purchase in grocery stores has been processed and packaged. That usually means it's full of additives and preservatives that may not be good for us. And processed food is much lower in nutritional value than fresh food. The best thing about freeze-drying my own food is that it can be preserved for extreme amounts of time without the use of chemicals to extend the shelf life. When we're eating foods that we've freeze-dried at home, it's just as healthy as the day we made it, even after many, many years. So get healthy and stay healthy by making and eating your own fresh freeze-dried food with the Harvestright in-home freeze dryer.